Smelling good is one thing, but smelling rich, you are going to feel like that guy. Spoiler alert, it doesn't always cost a ton of money. In today's video, I'm showing you a bunch of different examples of affordable colognes that are definitely turning some heads. Starting off with the least expensive, this one is Armaf Odyssey Home. I got the white version, and I can't believe I've been sleeping on this brand. This fragrance is mature and sweet, yet still pretty masculine and dark. It's essentially the best of everything, and in all honesty, this is exactly what I think Bruce Wayne would smell like. And truthfully, if you want to smell like Bruce Wayne, you gotta check out this fragrance. Clearly, you don't have to be a billionaire to afford this, because I got this bottle for $35, which is insane because this bottle is 3.4 ounces and one of the best smelling colognes in my entire collection. And keep in mind, most of my collection are designers. This just kind of proves that I wasted a ton of money on brand names when I could have been looking at clones that smell really similar to way more expensive ones. Like I said, this one's only $35, so you really can't lose much by checking this one out. The next fragrance I recommend is Hugo Boss The Scent. This is one that I've been talking about forever, and truthfully, I'll just never get tired of this fragrance. The main notes are citrus, leather, and warm spices. And just in general, leather fragrances are probably some of the most mature and sophisticated notes that you could have. So if you want to have that vibe of being put together, mature, and just outright sophisticated, you need a fragrance like this one. Some people describe this scent as seductive, not my words, but definitely has that vibe. Now I know what I just said about designers and how they can get really expensive. One thing that I found out recently is if you buy it at Macy's, you are wasting money. Get it from places like Joma Shop or Fragrance Net. These are way more affordable. They're obviously 100% real. You're just not paying the markup. So this one you can pick up for around $50. And as somebody who has had this cologne for 2 years now, this is one of the best fragrances that I've ever bought. The next cologne I literally just picked up, and that is Stronger With You Intensely. This is one that I've been looking at for such a long time now, and I am so glad I finally got it. Now, just like anyone else should, I went online, found it for a very affordable price, and decided to pick it up. This is also a really mature and sophisticated fragrance, so I only wear this when I want to be taken serious, and I really want to leave a good impression. This is easily my new favorite cologne. I'm excited to wear this a ton, and it is definitely worth checking out. All right, the next cologne that I recommend is definitely insanely expensive. That is Parfums de Marly Halting. This is another fragrance that I've talked about so many times, but now that I'm a little bit more into fragrances, as much as I love this one, and as much as I love Parfums de Marly, I'm not buying another one. Instead, I'm going with clones of these colognes. So again, you can check out Armaf or Alt Fragrances is another really popular one. Just do some research whenever you're looking into these. In my experience, niche fragrances like this one definitely last a lot longer, but considering you're probably gonna be paying a fraction of the price, kind of hard to complain. But there are so many good scents from Parfums de Marly, from Aventus, Tom Ford. Even getting one of each of the brands that I mentioned will cost you well over $600. So yeah, moving forward, I'm only gonna be shopping at dupes. If you have any recommendations, let me know in the comments. The next fragrance that I absolutely love is Get a Room by Confessions of a Rebel. This is one of the best smelling colognes for a date night that I have in my entire collection. If I'm going out and I really want to make a good impression on whoever I'm going out with, this is going to be the cologne that I'm choosing. These notes are woody, vanilla, and citrus. This one I couldn't really find a good price, but truthfully, I don't even have a full bottle just quite yet, but I'm definitely gonna buy one soon. The way that I got this fragrance was from Scentbird, which is definitely the most affordable option out of anything. Just keep in mind, you're paying for pretty much a month's supply. That's obviously not gonna last a very long time, but like I said, this is for date nights. I don't go on very many dates, so for right now, it's definitely doing me well. But moving forward, it's definitely on my radar of colognes that I need to buy a full bottle of. All right, the next cologne is definitely one that you want to wear if you really want to stand out, and that is Azzaro The Most Wanted Eau de Parfum. Again, this is another fragrance that I won't shut up about in this channel, and that's because I truly love this one. It's woody, it's warm, and it's very masculine. This is probably one of the strongest colognes in my entire collection, but it's definitely worth it, and therefore it's definitely not a cologne that I would wear every single day. If I'm going out to a nice dinner and I'm already dressed very well, then you definitely need the right cologne to go with that. And for me, that's always going to be this one. If I want to give off a more dark and masculine kind of vibe, this is the perfect finisher to that kind of aesthetic. In fact, this is kind of what I want my apartment to smell like as well. So if you're not going to be wearing it on yourself, you could definitely spray it into some sort of diffuser. And because it's designer, it's definitely one of the more expensive ones, but gotta be honest, this one is definitely worth the money as well. Now, the last 5 fragrances were definitely more for the nighttime, especially in the winter. And if you're watching this and it's summer, here are some better options if you want to smell rich in the warmer seasons. Carolina Herrera is definitely one of the best brands to look at, and Cobalt is easily my favorite one. This one is very aquatic, very citrusy. This is definitely a cologne that I could wear every single day, and more than likely, I'll get a compliment every single day. So if I'm going out to a pool or a beach, this is definitely the fragrance I want. Prada Carbon Eau de Parfum is definitely one that most guys probably already have or already smelled, and although that's not always the best option, if you want a good daily fragrance that smells incredible and you know pretty much everyone is going to love, this is definitely one that you don't have to take a risk on. In fact, this is one one of the few fragrances that I recommend to just blind buy. You don't even have to smell this in person because it's such a safe option in terms of a really likable scent. You definitely can't go wrong with this one. Now let's not even talk about colognes. If you want your place to smell good, then you need a good diffuser. That's something that I kind of mentioned earlier, but if you want your room to smell like any of these fragrances, get a diffuser, just spray it in there. Probably not the best option, but it's worked for me in the past. But if you can, get some essential oils. This is obviously a lot safer. I got this hotel set recently and I absolutely love it. So whenever somebody walks into my place, they tell me, your apartment smells good. So whether you have your entire apartment or just your room, you gotta make sure that you always smell good. Especially as a guy, if you're anything like me, you go hit the gym and then you just kind of lay around after, you could make your place smell bad really fast. So of course, the best thing you could do is prevent that. But if you really need to fix that, diffusers are your best option. Speaking of which, if you want your room to look even cooler, then here's a video about the 10 best items that you need in your room.